Hello, my friends on YouTube. Today is the 26th, Sunday, the 26th of September 2021. Today's video is a little bit, the title is a bit long. The Coming Age of Perfection in Applying the Islamic Fiction. Why is that Islamic fiction? Why is not we have many Muslim people are really day and night giving us headache that Islam is the answer. Islam, if it's applied properly, it will be the utopia on earth and everybody will live happily ever after and all that stuff. What brought that to my attention is I was reading BBC Arabic. I'm going to put the description of these titles. Unfortunately, it's in Arabic, but you can translate it. You can put translate, and you will get a fair translation. Okay, let's see. I'm going to translate what I read. Okay. That's in Afghanistan. The coming ideal world so Afghanistan under the rulership of Taliban. The governor of Kabul is commanding women who are working in like clerk jobs in the city to stay home. Why? Because that's what Quran and Islam teaches. Women stay in your homes. If you must go out, you go out with your husband or son. You have to have a male companion. Otherwise, the wolves will eat you up. You will be cut in pieces. Well, in a way, it's true. Why is that true? Because unfortunately, Muslim men, I shouldn't say men, Muslim males, because a man normally doesn't do what these people do. They actually act like wolves. And sometimes the woman is dressed very modestly, but still that desire to rape her is there. They can't relate to a woman as a person. She's an object of desire, sex. All that is driven from the teaching to have 72 virgins, to have 4 wives and many concubines. The craziness about sex. Furthermore, the craziness even about boys to have sexual intercourse with boys. And I will mention something here. When America went to Afghanistan, there were people, grown-up men, male, catching boys and raping them. And some soldiers, American soldiers, wanted to stop that. And their commander said, no, that is culture. That is part of their culture. You cannot change culture. That's their, before us and after us, that is how they do. And that brings me to, in the beginning, when the American forces went there, they built roads. They started to make it look like a country. So they built roads, they built hospitals, they built schools. Anyway, there was an American woman doctor to deal with women, Afghani woman. Because if a pregnant woman wants to deliver a baby, she would be more comfortable with a woman helping her to deliver the baby. So that lady doctor was there And about 22 years old girl came to her. She told her, I'm married for a couple of years now and I cannot conceive. So the doctor, the lady doctor, checked her and checked her whatever tests need to be done. And she told her, according to what I see, you are a very healthy young lady and you should conceive. And she gave her whatever, maybe some vitamins or something like that, and told her, okay, come back after 1 month. She came back and she said, I did not conceive. She ran more tests. She said, maybe I missed something here, there. She ran more tests and all came, this lady, this Afghan lady, is fine. So the American doctor sat her down and she said, tell me, what do you do with your husband? And the Afghan lady showed her that her husband have a relationship with her, anal relationship, not a proper sexual intercourse. So when I heard this, why is this happening? Why a husband, young man, she's 20, 22, let's say, they get married at the age of 20, relate to his wife, his bride, in this manner? The answer is automatic. In their culture, this husband must have been raped by other men since he was a boy. So in his mind, this area is for sex. So now I'm married, I relate to my wife, she's my wife, this is the place of sex. I relate to her this way. And the girl, because there is no education, okay, that must be the place of sex. So she doesn't conceive. So when the American doctor told her, no, this is not the place of sex, this is the place of sex, she conceived right away. But this is a culture. Of course, in the ancient world, I'm aware that the ancient world, whether it was Rome, Greece, Egypt, that was practiced, okay, including Asia and China, Afghanistan, also Afghanistan, Japan. Many places have practiced this in the past, but already the world became more enlightened, and unless people want to do that, that's their business. So, but it shows you the level of the world have developed. The world has stopped that. Unless people want to do it on their own, that's their business. But you don't see a teacher abusing a child. If this happens, it's a crime. It's a crime, and he will be subjected to the law. But in Afghanistan, why? Because in Quran it teaches that Muhammad knew that he was out of control sexually because he had so many women, but also his followers may have not been as crazy about sex as he was, but some of them had desire for boys, and therefore he promised them, in the next world after you die, you will have boys, and they will come to you bringing wine and fruits, things that you desire here in the hellhole where you are living, where there is no food or water or anything. You will have shaded area, and boys will come to you with wine and fruits, and you can do whatever you want with them. And that stays in the head. Probably Egypt and North Africa and many Islamic countries have been influenced by progress from the West, basically. Stop doing that. Okay? You don't hear of it. And if it is actually rape, and the person is punished heavily. Even the people on the street, if they catch a person like that, they will beat him probably to death. I'm not saying this is right, but there is an outrage that if this happens. Okay, that's one thing from the coming kingdom of heaven in Afghanistan. Okay, let's see the second thing they put on BBC. Okay, Afghanistan under Taliban, they change one ministry to another ministry. So after the American went there, of course they saw that women are mistreated and sometimes beaten and what have you. Anyway, let's not go into that. So they created what's called Ministry of Women. And it is wrong, because if you have a Ministry of Women, you should have also a Ministry of Men, because half of the world is men, half are women. But this is an exception because women in this region have been abused so badly. So it's okay to have an office to support women and help them and give them advice and so on and so forth. I'm not against that. But they replace it with something called, I'm going to translate that, Ministry of High Moral Commands and staying away from bad commands. And you ask yourself, how will you decide this is a good command and this is a bad command? That these people, they used to be in Saudi Arabia until a couple of years ago, when the Prince of Saudi Arabia, Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, stopped that because it was nonsense. Even though it's Islamic, he stopped it because it's making his country look retarded, and it reflects on him. So this is supposed to be police. And how do you know that this police does not have twisted mind? He wants to rape and plunder and steal and so on and so forth. You don't. He's just standing for the goodness in Islam. Okay? So these people, let's say during the time of prayer, they will have a stick, and if a person does not go to the mosque, he or she does not go to the mosque to pray, he will hit them with that stick like a cattle to push them to go to pray. What if I don't want to pray? That's between me and God. What if I don't believe that much in prayer? He makes sure that during the month of Ramadan, if somebody eats on the street publicly, he will go to prison. It's all external, the look. If a woman walking on the street without that tent or the veil on, he will hit her. And that is applying the goodness of Islam. The third one is Taliban. An official person from Taliban is emphasizing that applying the Sharia law of chopping the hands and stoning people, applying the Islamic law or Islamic commands are applied, and we should really be happy to hear that. He's saying that with pride, that this now we're Islamic. These bunch of barbarians, actually they are beyond barbarians, so delighted that if they catch a person stealing, they will chop his hand off. If a person, a man and a woman, it's not rape, let's say they agree to have sexual relationship, and if somebody report them and they are caught, they are stoned to death. And we should really be so happy to hear about that. If a person does not fast, then he should be punished. If he doesn't have a good reason, if he is not ill, if he is capable, if he's a young person and healthy and not fasting, you must fast. One thing, you cannot really apply morality by force. Morality is a person he or she chooses to apply to himself. Okay? I don't know how you can apply. How can you apply good moral standard to the mind? You are trying to subjugate them by force to obey you. But when the time comes to rebel and violate what you are saying, if a married woman sick of her husband applying these kind of laws, the moment she gets the chance to commit adultery, she will do it. Not necessarily in love of the adultery itself, but to violate him. To tell him, you see, because you are punishing me for something I shouldn't be punished for, I am going to commit adultery. Do you want to tell me that the countries, whether it's Saudi Arabia or Kuwait or any Islamic, or Afghanistan or Pakistan or any Islamic country, there's no adultery? There is no fornication. There is no immorality. What about that Pakistan is the highest country in searching for pornography? Egypt, 90% of Egypt is Muslim. The second, looking for pornographic materials. We can say the 1.5% of Pakistan who are non-Muslim are the only people who are watching this stuff, because the number is huge. We cannot say that the 10% who makes that Egypt the second in looking for pornographic material are only the 10%, which is about 10 million people of Egypt. But the numbers are huge. If you have 50 million people looking for pornographic material in Egypt, you can say that 10% Christian are all watching pornography. Muslim, and men and women actually. So that illusion, that illusion that we think that we are living a moral standard while we are really fooling ourselves. This is fiction. That's why I call that video. Please, I'm not saying that for the Muslim to anger them, but please take a step back and think and reflect and see that this is really will never take you anywhere. Morality and goodness, this is something comes from the heart. Okay? And if the heart is so contaminated like this, what good will come out of this culture? What good will come out of this stuff, of these people, of the teaching of Muhammad? I'm sorry, I go to the source. The source have encouraged that. The source, Muhammad and the Quran, his teaching, put the basis for this kind of life. We thank you very much and we hope to hear from you.